Hey there, folks. I'm Isaac, and I'm bad at poker.
And I'm Claire, and I'm good at Warhammer.
Wow. Wow. I thought that this was a safe space away from all the horrors of Warhammer.
Sorry.
And here you are rubbing it in and making it publicly known that you're better than me at Warhammer.
I didn't say better than you.
And everybody is better than me at Warhammer. Well, by saying good at Warhammer, it's instantly as saying that you're better than me at Warhammer because I'm not good at Warhammer.
Also, you've brought up Warhammer on the pod anyway many times.
Yeah, but not in the context of how good or bad anybody may be.
Okay, sorry, I take it back.
I'm crying over here now. Tears just streaming down my eyes.
Tears of the Kingdom? Anyway, this is...
Make That Game!
Where we pitch the latest,
The greatest,
new video game ideas
that aren't ever going to get made. Just like I'm never going to win Warhammer.
Oh my gosh.
There, you see?
I didn't mean to make it.
it.
I didn't mean to make it a whole thing. It wasn't the plan to make it a whole thing.
Warhammer is always a whole thing.
Folks, I bought panels for our recording area, and they have been sitting here for like 3 weeks at least.
At 4 or 5, we've had a time.
I think at this point we should just hold them around our faces.
Yeah, it would
Make
block outside
cloak.
sound. Yeah, we could make little helmets. I could 3D print little helmets that we put on the those on the outside.
Well, if we put them on the outside of the plastic helmets, it's not going to do anything.
I mean,
because our voices would still echo off the plastic. It's not going to defeats the purpose. Anyway,
the science hasn't been done on that,
this
so we don't know.
The Sound Science Podcast. This is the Game Ideas Podcast, where we come up with game ideas and we tell them to each other. That's what we do.
And the audience.
And the audience, and all of everyone who's listening.
We tell them, to the whole world. The whole world knows about these game ideas. Everybody
the whole world
listens.
could. Everyone has the option to listen. Everyone with an internet connection.
And they do.
And they do.
I've seen the analytics. I know. I know the facts.
I think you might need to learn more about the world's population, but that's okay. But yeah, Isaac, do you have a game idea for me?
I do. Well, so as I was coming down the stairs to record this podcast, I did realize that this game idea is not so much a game idea as much as a toy idea.
Okay.
Like a digital toy, nonetheless. Like you would play with it on the computer, but the game aspect of it is basically there's no like goal or fail state. It's just a thing that just you interact with. Okay.
Yeah, let's start with what it is.
Start with it. You load it up. You click new game, new toy, new world. Let's say new world. It generates up a world, and inside this world there's landscapes, and there's characters, and there's nations and monsters and stuff. And you are just somebody who like observes this, but you also get to directly decide the outcome of like events. So the way that I'm picturing this is like you can scroll out to like seeing the entire globe at once, and you can scroll all the way down to like being in someone's kitchen inside of this world. And depending on like where you're zoomed out to, different events of different importance are displayed to you, and you can click on these little events, and then you can decide the outcome. Like
There's a mechanic in The Sims that I think is incredibly similar to what you're describing. Can I describe it to you now?
Yes.
Okay, maybe this is right, maybe it's not. My instincts have been wrong before.
Okay, all right.
But in Sims 2, I don't know if it happens in any other game, because we all know I'm a Sims 2 diehard
fanatic.
When you go to work or school, you don't follow your sim there. In some later games you can, but in that game you don't. They just disappear. You're at the house, it's empty, whatever. You may get a pop-up in the middle of the day that's like, Susie Sim, they want you to come in, stay late for this work meeting. Do you stay late or do you leave on time? And then you click an option, and then like maybe staying late meant you got a promotion, or maybe you stay late and then people are like, they rolled over you and you like they took advantage of your time, and now like someone got a promotion, right? So like basically you decide. You pick options. You don't know what the direct result will be from those options, and then something happens based on those options.
Correct. And yeah, that's the central idea of this game. So like some peasant woman is baking bread, and you can choose whether that bread comes out good or bad. And then, if you stay zoomed in on that peasant woman, then maybe like she goes to marketplace with bad bread and doesn't get any money. Nobody buys her bad bread. So then she goes home and she doesn't have any money, and like that spirals and spirals and creates all these new events.
So say if you're zoomed in on the peasant woman, is this like a literal like Earth-sized world that we're talking about?
Well, probably not literal Earth-sized because like the limitations of computation.
Yeah, because I'm thinking like if you're just watching like the peasant woman story in the peasant woman village, then like is the AI for everything else actively running?
Yes, but as video games do in these kinds of cases, it would be a very simplified version of it. Basically, anything that you're not watching still advances, but it just kind of like
but could you theoretically zoom it out at any time to see all of it? So like I don't know, that seems like a pretty like lofty goal for a game.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the part that makes it interesting. And like depending on, like I said earlier, like depending on how far you zoom out, like the importance of the events are different. Like if you're zoomed in on a single village, like you might get decisions based around like, oh, does the mayor enact like does he pay his taxes to the king or whatever, or do bandits come to this village? If you zoom out even further, you only get things on like a national scale, like kings enacting laws, or the outcomes of battles between multiple armies, etc., and stuff like that. And then so like you get the option of, I want to like on a macro level determine the fate of this world, or I want to just follow little Susie around for her entire life and make her live the perfect life and everything comes out her way, and like just see how that unfolds in this I mean, world.
It is interesting. I think it's an overwhelming version of The Sims is how I feel about it. So
yes. And it's the ultimate like power fantasy in a way, just because you ultimately have like complete control over whatever you desire to have complete control of. Like you control the outcome of, if you wanted, literally every action in the world. Although that,
I was going to say, not really, because if everything's happening simultaneously, you can't be at every house at once.
Unless there was like a mode where you could like pause it and then you go around the entire world, a million events, every scale.
This is literally me playing Sims 2. So I just...
Yeah, that kind of thing would appeal to people. So like in this design document that we're verbally making here, we've just added ability to pause and then decide any number of events during the pauses you want without advancing time, so that someone can spend 10 years with this game open and then finally announce, I have decided the outcome of every action that happened on a planet.
I think decidedly this is a game. I think decidedly this is a game.
I think that
the things we call games are very broad. Like,
yes,
a visual novel,
have a win state or a fail state.
Yeah, like Sims. Sims also doesn't have that. It's a literal infinite. What about Animal Crossing? Does that have a win state and a fail state? Not really. Definitely doesn't have a fail state. You could argue a couple different win states, but I think...
Okay, you win this round.
Yeah, like Sims does not have a win state or a fail state. It's infinite.
Doesn't Sims end if like your family like perishes, like if everybody burned in a house fire and the kid got taken away by CPS?
I mean, sure, but like then you can just keep playing. Like the game The Sims doesn't end. Like you just build a new family.
Well, true, but that applies to every game then. I'm talking about like game.
Sims is not like everyone in a family dying. One would be kind of like, you'd probably do it on purpose, so like that's part of gameplay. But two, like you don't start over in the same sense that like, okay, like now you could, I guess, if you wanted to make the exact same family, but like you probably wouldn't. You'd probably just do a different family or go play a different neighborhood or go play like it's just part of life, because it is a life simulation. Like people die, so like Sims die, and that's not game over.
It's really funny because the way that you just described Sims just made me instantly think of roguelikes. Like you just described. You just described Sims effectively as being roguelike, or a roguelite rather.
Well, I guess like if roguelites had like character customization
They
and
do.
also design, like I mean, yeah, it is kind of, but you get to design your own house.
Oh yeah. That's like a bonus feature.
Everyone gets to interact together. I think that's the fun part of neighborhoods. And
here's
like,
the hot
it's
take
not
of the
a rogue.
episode.
Oh God.
Sims is a roguelite, folks.
It's like,
I'm putting it
are
out
you sitting
there.
at the booth? Are you saying Sims is a roguelike? Change my mind. Drinking a sip of coffee.
Exactly. That's me right now. Send in the angry fan letters. Yeah.
Anyway.
Prove me wrong.
Anyway, there is no win state or fail state in Sims. So therefore, I think your game is definitely a game.
Okay. All right.
100%.
Okay.
I mean, you're making... What is a game if not making decisions that have an impact on the outcome of something?
Okay, that's true. That's true
game.
when you boil it.
That's what
down,
it is,
but
though. It's a game. It's a game, folks. We know it's a game. We all know it's a game.
Part of me just is still like this doesn't feel like a game. It doesn't pass the.
I mean, you
the
even called
sniff
it
test.
a toy, which to me is also a game.
No, a Barbie doll is not a game.
I think a Barbie doll is a game, just like The Sims is a game.
No, you make a game through play with the. Oh, maybe that's where it is.
Well,
the
I
game
guess
part is the self-imposed rules of, I'm only going to follow little Susie, the peasant girl.
Actually, I think you're right, because it's like people who play The Sims usually have goals in mind that the game does not impart on them. Like they're like, I want this person to get a promotion, or I want, or I do want to murder this entire family. Like that's what Sims is. That's you come up with your own motives. Yeah. So
speedrun categories.
The Barbie doll is the game engine.
Yes.
And you are the designer.
Okay. Yes. There we go. My game. Speaking of my game engine, where you are the designer, does not have a name.
Godworld.
Okay. Godworld. Okay.
I don't know.
Godworld.
First thought.
The decision is in your hands. That sounds
You've
like
got
a
the
commercial.
whole world in your hands.
Well, yes. Yeah. Anyways, hey, Claire, do you have a game idea?
Kind of.
Okay, is it a toy idea?
Maybe. Well, it's more of like, I would say it's like a visual novel / text-based adventure game.
Okay, yeah, those are games.
So like,
definitively.
Do you know the game Trogdor?
Yes.
Okay, I kind of like imagined that.
Do you know the game Trogdor? Do you listeners, if you're if your back doesn't hurt actively right now, you may not know Trogdor.
So I guess we have to describe it, but the thing is I've only played I was so bad at video games when I was playing this game that I couldn't I liked the video they made. They had a video about it, and that's what I really liked.
Trogdor. Yeah, I'm not.
And I tried
edit that out.
Right? No, never. I tried to play the game, but I didn't understand how that kind of game worked at all, and so I just got really frustrated. I never made it past the first couple things you're supposed to try. But the reason I bring it up is because that's kind of the simplistic but also goofy game I want. Okay. I want it to look like it's from the early internet. I want it to have those elements.
Okay.
And it's called Skipping Rocks. And
yes.
It's just this guy goes to skip rocks. And so the first part of the game, so I guess it's not a text-based RPG. I don't know. It's a combo. It's a lot of things.
I'm getting very lost in this winding labyrinth of words.
I have it all in my, if I could teleport my mind image to you, you'd be like, oh, I get it. But I can't.
I have no mind image receptacle. You could not teleport this to me.
So I want it to look like poorly drawn on paint, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
And then you start by having to skip rocks manually in the game.
Okay. Is it the Gorillas style?
Yeah.
You control the power direction.
Right.
Okay. Angle. Gotcha.
But then suddenly one of your rocks hits a bigger rock in the ocean and opens a portal to the underworld.
Oh no.
And then it becomes a text-based RPG game. So I wanted
a genre shift there. The intro the intro is a wildly different genre than the actual gameplay. That, that is a twist.
And then I think I just feel during So basically what I want it to be is like the actual story is very dark, but like also the things that are happening are like fairly stupid. Like most of the things that you succeed in would be done by accident or like seem like an accident. Like it takes a lot of brain creativity to think about like what the correct input would be because it's just like not the intuitive thing.
Okay, you are so this is what the 80s, the late 80s were. It was just increasingly obtuse adventure games.
Yeah, it's kind of it is basically one of those. Cuz I haven't made one of those yet. I haven't pitched one of those
That's
yet.
fair, yeah.
So let's pitch it. Let's do it. But it starts off as a completely different genre just for fun.
What's really fun for me is that you started at like the conclusion of the genre. Like the end state of it, because like obviously it started off and the interactions were fairly intuitive, and you could understand it, and then it got more and more esoteric as time went on, as they tried to challenge gamers who were experienced with it more and more, and you just skip straight to that. You're like, I want it to start esoteric.
Yeah, which is funny
This is
because
my first foray into this genre. I want it esoteric.
I couldn't even make it past something that wasn't esoteric.
Is that how you pronounce it?
That's how I pronounce it.
Okay, mail us how you pronounce esoteric.
Send us
esoteric.
an audio clip, and we'll make a hypercut of everyone saying it.
Can you tag people in TikToks? Can we say, hey, make a TikTok, tag us in it?
Yeah, or we could make stitches too. TikToks. Like stitch our TikTok. Tell us how you say esoteric.
Ooh, there we go. That's how we get our name
All right.
out there.
We're gonna do something fun on TikTok. Yeah, okay, we could also like follow that train of thought, and maybe like the final puzzle is like literally just like open door. So like it's actually getting easier as you go.
Yes, but you never like there is a door that must be opened right in front of you, and like so people are like
I need a
head,
key.
Taste door. Use biscuit door.
Yeah, and like literally you just open it, and it's like that's how you escape the underworld. And
Never
you
would have thought of
saved Cincinnati.
You're throwing this new element.
I just said the first city that came to mind, and I thought
I like it.
That made it better.
I want the game to never mention Cincinnati ever, and then the final screen
it's
is
just like you
saved
Cincinnati. Is there even water, like a body of water in Cincinnati?
I don't even know where Cincinnati is.
It's in Ohio.
Oh, then
I think
Ohio's
so. There's
landlocked,
rivers,
isn't it?
It's near the Great Lakes. Though.
What?
Ohio's like pretty close, actually.
Well, I know it's close. I've been to Ohio.
Me too.
But wait, there's water in Ohio? I thought it was just cornfields. What? Hold on, I'm looking this up.
We're doing some Ohio research. Ohio is the home of Rutherford B. Hayes.
Oh my God, the picture of Cincinnati when you look up Ohio, I guess it's a river, but like it was like from the river.
Yeah.
You see all the water, and then it shows the city. So I guess your game is lore accurate to Cincinnati.
So yeah, that's my game, Skipping Rocks.
I love it.
That's the game I brought today. That's the energy I have right now.
I can't believe Cincinnati. So it's not. It's on the southwestern part of Ohio, so not near the Great Lakes, but. I did not know Ohio was near a Great Lake. I didn't know it shared a border.
On this podcast, we learn things.
That's why we call it the Learn 'em Up Kids, the podcast.
We could sometimes. We have a lot of Learn 'em Up games, but Skipping Rocks isn't one of them.
That's true.
Well, now would be the time.
Now would be the time where we would discuss like some kind of game design question. And neither of us came with one prepared, but we did actually have a discussion on what is a game versus a toy.
That was actually a pretty good, I think, discussion, and I'd love to hear others' opinions. So you can always send us an email, makethatgamepodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah. Just go back, like fill in the rest of the space by going back and re-listening to that part that you just listened to.
With like a new lens. Like think about it deeper now.
Yeah. It might have caught you off guard before because we didn't introduce the segment, but now this is the segment introduction. So now just go on back.
Yeah.
Just click back in your podcatcher. Do the -10 seconds button a lot. Okay, and now we can go on to the next segment. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Are you ready for the rapid fire round?
I am.
Oh, good, because I don't know what that is.
Oh, well, good. I will tell you what it is. The rapid fire round is when we generate 3 random words. We have 5 minutes to come up with a game idea based on those 3 words. And we need a name for it. And that's the rules of it. So we're going to do that. Are you ready?
I am ready with the timer for 5 minutes. And I'm going to start in 1, 2, B.
I'm not sure if I'm a fan of the alternate counting that you started.
Hey, we're wasting time here.
Oh,
What's
boy.
the words?
Despise, cow, inflate.
Okay.
Cows-
Okay. Nope. I'm
okay.
taking. I'm
taking
throwing out my first image, my first mental image.
Cow balloons?
Nope. I can't say it on the podcast.
Okay, cow balloons is my first image.
Yeah. Okay. So you put balloons on cows, and they make cow pies over your despised enemy.
Oh, I see. So they're like the cows are floating around, and cow pie missiles are.
Yeah. So
Okay.
bombs more like. So you have to take in wind, speed, and direction, and weight of cow and air buoyancy of balloons.
So it's
into
a physics
accounts.
game.
It is a physics game because if any of the cow pies land on your property, you take damage, and the ultimate goal is to damage your neighbor's property enough that you
just
are
covered
the
in poo.
farm master. Yeah.
So for those who don't know, a cow pie is poo.
Yeah. Oh.
I think there's people out there who don't know that.
Probably. Actually, yeah. If they don't.
I think, yeah.
And what's the name of this game? Because we just came up with a solid game idea, and the characters, it's 2 farmers who hate each other.
Yeah, no,
and
it's a rivalry in the rural rivalry.
Rural rivalry. I don't want to do that one just because it, to me, just paints ruraldom as being about cow pies.
Okay, but like
that's harmful imaging.
Okay, but that's what the game is, because farms are like by definition rural.
Well,
but you don't have to call it that. We have
I live
time.
on a city farm myself. No,
A city
farm. Okay,
we could have.
But I really want to. Basically, I'm just trying to steer us away from anything that doesn't have the word cow pie in the title.
Cow pie in the sky.
Oh, okay. Boom. All right. With 2 minutes and 45 seconds left on the clock, Cow Pie in the Sky, the game where you send cow pies from the sky to the neighbor you don't like. Bam.
It's good.
There we go, folks. This is the energy we're bringing into the rapid fire round today. Let's continue this streak.
Let's continue.
In 3, 2, go.
Ran into the microphone there. Reception.
Okay.
Chew. Bless.
Okay.
So chew like CHEEW and then bless BLESS.
Yeah. What's the first word?
Reception.
Reception.
Which could mean
Chew.
many things.
Bless.
Reception could be how something is received. It could be the reception desk. It could be a wedding reception. There's many receptions.
I'm immediately thinking of like a scenario, but I don't know where the gameplay comes from this, of you are talking on the phone with someone and they are chewing and sneezing and it's interrupting like...
I don't want to play that game. I couldn't even stand. I can't design that because I couldn't even stand in Tears of the Kingdom. There's a section where I'm trying to go fast, but there's a section where they're eating rocks and it is like the worst sound I've ever heard. And I had to get out of there as fast as I possibly could.
Okay. All right.
So that sounds like a terrible experience.
All right, fine. We won't make
see what you're doing.
Audio horror game.
Yeah, no thanks. I think any
we'll
chewing.
Throw it out.
Yeah, choose the worst word in this 3 words. Is there some way? Maybe it's like gum, something to do with chewing gum.
Well, that's still the act of chewing. It could be chew tobacco, which is slightly less actual chewing.
Yeah, but it's like grosser.
All right, I'm going to see if there's any esoteric meanings of the word chew.
Thank you.
Or esoteric.
Maybe we could do something with like you're making like a gum ball.
No, it is entirely about biting and yeah. Okay, I really thought that chew out.
Oh yeah. There's
Reprimand someone. Chewing up is like when car tires like chew up the lawn. So I guess we do have some options, but like,
We're running out
man,
of time here. This is
everything kind of fits in with reception when you go with the phone idea, but all right, we'll throw it all out.
okay. I mean,
No.
we could just make a terrible game. That's allowed.
No, we have done it before, but okay. Do we have any ideas? I'm sorry, I was researching different meanings and I zoned out.
All I came up with is that you're chewing holy chewing gum. That's the blessed part. And you have to make a giant gumball out of it and give it, and then you put it on an art display, and then you get points based on how big it is, and then that's your reception.
Okay. I like it. I also had a thought that this is the exact same game as the cow pie game, only with different graphics. Except the bubblegum bubbles are lifting a wedding cake, and it drops presents, and your goal is to have a good reception.
Okay, I like that. I like the bubblegum bubble, and like we could say the presents are blessings on the new couple.
Yeah.
So I like
at their
that.
reception.
It's called Reception Bliss. What Bubble Bliss.
Okay.
Bubble Bless. It's called Bubble Bless.
Bubble Bless. With 1 minute and 18 seconds left, we did what people hate. We did now I'm forgetting what it's called. Asset swap. We asset swapped our own game. Asset swap. We did it, folks. We asset swapped our own game.
Sorry. Sometimes it needs to be done because that game was tough.
We were running out of time.
I don't think the holy bubblegum ball of chewed bubblegum had much legs, I'll be honest.
No. Are we ready for the third and final round?
I truly don't know what to expect, but I am ready.
All right. 1, 2, go. That was the Fibonacci sequence, but it's not really noticeable when you just start off. And I didn't do 0.
Okay.
Oh.
This is good, maybe. Pudding, myth, crash. So
do you have ideas on this?
So the only thing is when I saw pudding and myth together, I thought it said math, but it doesn't. It says myth. But I
Pudding
was like,
math.
well, because there's the plum pudding model of the universe in which all of the universe is suspended into like a jiggly plum pudding substance. That's like a universe theory from physicists. So I was like, maybe that's like part of it. Maybe the plum pudding model of the universe is part of this game.
I mean, that does sound like a myth, like mythology. So,
Right.
It still works in.
So it's like a space game because also that could be crash. Like maybe you crash landed
on the pudding of another universe.
Yes, you're a
found
pudding
new
traveler.
universe. You've left your own pudding and found a new pudding.
You roll with this.
Okay. So I don't even cuz all right, so I guess it's a survival game. You have to collect resources in this new universe, which puts it like squarely in the same.
Okay, wait. Sorry, real quick. I just was Googling plum pudding model just to see.
Okay.
This is not about the universe. This is about atoms, but it's okay. We can make a game based on that as a universe.
Okay. It's about atoms?
Okay, from Wikipedia. The plum pudding model is one of several historic scientific models of the atom, first proposed by J.J. Thomson in 1904. Tried to explain two properties of the atom. The electrons are negatively charged, blah, 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 blah. So it's electrons surrounded by a volume of positive charge, like negatively charged plums embedded in a positively charged pudding. But obviously it's not how that's not how it works. Like we know that's not how it works anymore. So
so we can still this is now No Man's Sky. We're taking the survival game thing, and a lot of it is about taking atomic structures or molecules, basically elements, and combining them to create stuff.
Yeah, I think we're taking the plum pudding model, turning it into a myth of the universe.
Yes.
You're traveling through and you crash land on different puddings and get to explore it. Yeah, I think that's a game.
Yeah. And so you collect resources, repair your ship, move on, crash on the next area until you get to the center of the plum pudding where there is the most delicious plum in the pudding. Mm-hmm. And you get to eat it. And it's...
I don't know if that's like very satisfying for a video game, but maybe.
It's called Plum Palladium.
It's called
Plum Palladium.
Myth. It's called an age. It's
Pudding
called
Power.
Universal Pudding. It's called.
Universal Pudding. Okay.
I mean, pudding powder.
I mean, what kinds of puddings are there?
Well,
I mean,
this is
obviously
specifically
this is about
plum pudding.
but like...
Well, it depends if you're doing like the English definition of pudding or the American definition of pudding.
Jeez, I don't want to get into...
we can call it space dessert.
Space dessert.
We can call it like just desserts, but space.
Just dessert. Just desserts. Just desserts.
Just desserts.
No.
How much time do we have?
We have over a minute actually, so like we're vamping. We're definitely vamping.
No, it goes
we got
fast.
Time to vamp.
It doesn't.
Okay. Plumbing. Plump.
The universal plum. The plum at the center of the universe. Plum. The pudding of the soul of the universe.
The plum is in the pudding.
The plum is in the pudding. Yes.
Okay, it doesn't really sell the space game idea, but I'll take it with 35 seconds left.
We could do the planets in the pudding.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Okay. All right. The planet's in the pudding. Now it's done. We did it. And
that's the podcast. Goodbye.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to actually sign off. But yes, that is the end of the podcast. Okay. You can find us anywhere you get your podcast, pretty much. And you can also find us on social media. We're at Make That Game Pod on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. I have to go slow because I tend to forget which ones we're on. You can also find us on YouTube at Make That Game. You can find us on twitch.tv/MakeThatGame. And you can send us a lovely email, makethatgamepodcast@gmail.com. And if you heard a game today that you just need to exist in this world of ours, we encourage you to get out there and make that game.